Here are the two pieces of furniture I entered into the Texas Furniture Maker Show in Kerrville, Texas, 2022.
So here's our photographer that's photographing the current piece we have, my Fibonacci table. So here he is over here. Positioning it. I'm photographing you, photographing.
There you go. So in this video, I'm going to give you the inside scoop, or perspective, or view from the maker or the artist from the Kerr Arts and Cultural Center, Kerrville, Texas Furniture Maker Show for 2022. So as an artist, I submitted two tables. So this video is going to be about 15 minutes long, and about 10 minutes of that is going to be the artist's critique. So they have artist critique the day after they have the award ceremony, where it's artist only, and they walk around to each piece in the show and critique it and tell you what they liked or what could be improved or what could be done better. I find this is very interesting, and some of the things about the pieces that you're trying to understand is what makes a high quality, museum quality piece of furniture. And those are the ones that actually wins the top awards in the show. And let me tell you what you have to do to be able to be allowed to show into this Texas Furniture Maker Show. So you have to send your application in with photos of your piece back in September. And you submit a $25 jury fee for each piece that you submit for the show. Then in October, they come and will announce those artists that they have selected to be in their show. This year they had 31 artists with 50 different pieces. If you're selected to be in the show, you have a $200 entry fee if your piece is not for sale, as my pieces were not for sale. If you are going to sell your pieces, you have a $100 entry fee plus a 25% commission on the price that you sell your item at.
This is my other favorite. This is called the Safari table. Notice that the slant on the drawers matches the table, and they have the same angle. He has his logo in the drawer bottom. Nice touch. Little brass knobs go through for the brass rods for the stretchers. Just a lovely, lovely piece. Close at the grain of this. And you can see the detail showing the different shades of hair on this bear. As you back out, you can see the beauty and the detail that goes into this piece.
So after they announce the artists that will be in the show, you deliver your furniture. On this case, it was October 31st. And then on the 12th of November, they have the awards reception. And the awards reception is all the awards are announced. And in this particular case, you have Best of Show for a $1,000 prize. Second place, $800. Third place was $700. Then they have other designated categories for a $600 award for contemporary style, traditional style, Texas style, and art style. And then there's several other awards that are presented, like a Emerging Artist Award, which is a new artist award, and they have one called a Society of Period Piece Furniture.
So if you made it this far through this video, congratulations and thanks a lot for watching this. I know this is a lot, but I want to get your impression of furniture shows. If you've ever competed in a show, tell me what your experience has been, what the requirements were to enter it, and your enjoyment or processes, and what you might have learned from participating in that show. I hope you learned a little bit from my video on what transpires to put on a show, how far in advance you have to prepare for it, and what goes on at a show, and the things that you learn. So please leave me your comments below on anything about a furniture show, and prepare for the critiques that are upcoming in greater detail. So I know if you're a woodworker, you'll want to watch those, and if you're not, I certainly understand you skipping out of the video at this point.
This is a cool concept to make a piece entirely in accordance with Fibonacci sequences, which is, you know, the further a Fibonacci sequence goes, the closer that ratio gets to phi, or the golden ratio. So it's a cool concept, and I've made things doing this way. Were you in my talk yesterday?
No, sir.
Right, okay, good. What I talked about was using ratios like that to only work on two of the dimensions. So like to work on this face, which is what you're going to see when you come in. But then the rest of it, you don't have to do that, and it'll probably end up being a little more elegant. So for me, what I thought was that the legs were just too thick. And the leg thickness was determined by a Fibonacci sequence, is that correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think there you can let the sequence works well here, but you can let that go on these legs, and I would make them a little bit thinner. So that's would be my advice here. Yeah. Otherwise, well, I guess the grain of these legs on that one's good. This one's a little off.
Yeah, there was one odd leg.
Yeah. And I mean, like the curve is nice, but it's also not a truly fair curve. There's some flats in it, but you know, that's something that just takes experience and practice to learn to do. But nice work otherwise on like using the straight grain, and it's all ash, right? There's some of it looks a little, yeah, it's all ash. That side for a second I was like, is that Eastern white pine? But no, it's not. It's all ash. Yeah. But anyways, that would be my input.
Yeah, I think you hit on all the points. The biggest thing when you walk up to it is you see this piece is nice straight grain, which is an element, and then this grain kind of cuts off like that. So try to select a piece that matches for both. And then if you do find grain that's going at an angle like that, or curved in some way, to orient the grain to follow the curve. Felt like these legs could have, obviously Matt's already said this, to be a little slender and more even here, maybe a little too thick up there. So again, just drawing this out. This is really, really helpful. Just draw things out, draw ideas out, draw it out full size, sketch it out. It's really, really helpful. Because the Fibonacci sequence and all of this is in nature, like it's in everything. It's in where our bodies are constructed, it's in flowers, it's in everywhere. So it's actually already ingrained in us. So you'll find that a lot of times when you're just drawing, that natural design, it just comes out. Like I like to actually use it sometimes for when I'm actually designing like a piece, but then like Matt was saying, we'll then use just how does this feel? How does it look when we draw it out? So
yeah, I don't really use precise ratios like that anymore, because I know that as long as you're in the ballpark of that, you're okay. So you can stray from it a little bit this way or a little bit that way, and you're still going to be okay.
Yeah, this was just my second or third piece to build.
Now I feel bad. No, you did this is a great piece for a second or third piece. It's fantastic.
I'll give you a little bit of advice here. Pay attention to the details. You've got some saw marks here on the tops of the drawers, a few little nicks right in there. Do a little more
Refinement.
refinement
Yeah.
on that. Same thing on the top, and then try a couple of different kinds of finishes too. Just things like that. Play around with that. Otherwise, I think you're on the right track for sure.
Thank you.
Did you use? It's not a soap finish. Did you bleach it?
No, it's a gel, white gel, stained white with thin 50%, and then with Rubio on top of it.
Okay, I do like the.
And that brought the
finish.
honey back out.
And it's white. It's
White oak.
right? Yeah. So one thing I noticed on the top is so you've got this grain line right here, and it's just next to the inlay. So if you know you're going to do that inlay, you need to figure out where those joints are going to be so that they aren't that close to the inlay. Did you inlaid it after you glued it up?
Yes.
Okay, and that never broke away or anything?
No.
And I would say the other thing relating to the top is to be more selective when you come to choosing the boards so there's more uniformity in color, and also trying to get the grain to match from board to board. The less consistency there is from one board to another in the way the grain meets, the more obvious the glue line's going to be. So it can be really hard to line up flat sawn stock for edge joint. So if you can, now this is white oak, maybe rift sawn white oak would have been good for the top pieces because then it would have all been straight. You wouldn't have big medullary rays, and you would have a better time of hiding those glue lines, I think.
Thank
But
you.
again, you said this was the second piece you made?
No, that's my most recent piece. Yeah.
Very nice work still. A lot of delicate or intensive inlay too. So very nice.
And then I have the leg stretcher to form the cross on the ends.
Yeah, that's nice. Is this for a church?
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
So that's a nice touch. Yeah, really nice.
The attention to every detail. So if you look at this piece, I mean, the way the drawers fit perfect. They're not too tight, they're not too loose. The proportions, and then you start dialing in and you start seeing there is not a single glue drop or rough spot at all in here. Everything fits so perfect. One thing that I would have changed, and it was like this screw right here. Like I would have put instead of putting this silver Phillips screw, I would have put a brass slotted screw that maybe matched.
It is clearly an expression of a fully realized vision, right? As Frank was saying, Danny's thought about every single detail, and he's paid equal attention to every detail in its execution. So I think that's important when you're designing your own work, that you can't stop designing until everything is designed. And also things like it would be easy to use 45-degree chamfers all around, but Danny's not done that. He's done something off 45 degrees. 45 degrees is sort of a manufactured chamfer. So if you want your work to be the expression of like someone who's making things by hand, you want it to move away from using things that are, in a sense, are easy. So, a 45-degree router bit's really easy to use to chamfer something, but then it looks like it was made with a 45-degree router bit, right? And you can go further than that. Also, there is a level of complexity in making the base, which he has executed to perfection. You see this pull, and it looks like just a round pull. You think that's just a dowel, right? But actually, there's a little bit of a relief underneath for your finger, and this in here is just slightly, I don't know, you'll see like maybe pillowed. So, and it's gentle and it's nice. I don't really have any criticism of this piece, but my personal take would be that maybe it's a bit of an odd marriage between the sculpture and the base. But I know that that's saying that is different from saying, I see that this is the fully realized execution of a mature and good sense of design.